Remember when during social distancing in August of 2020, and there was about a month-long period when Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout became insanely popular? The problem was, about a month later, another game, being the meme we all love now called Among Us, became even more popular than Fall Guys did. But today I'm not focusing on Among Us. After Fall Guys' first month of release is over, it kind of just died. However, today I'm going to talk about why I still enjoy Fall Guys, even though it is Season 6. Hey guys, this is Gaming Nate, and today I will be going over why Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout is still a good game. First, I'm going to talk about how this game compares to other Battle Royale type games, because this game technically is one, just a different type of one since it's a platformer. The goal of the game is to qualify in every minigame and get first place in the final minigame to win. The minigame types include racing to the finish, surviving the longest, and you and your team winning in a team event. Now, most other Battle Royale games have one or the other in this. They will either have pay-to-win guns or whatever else. That just make whoever spent the most money on the game wins, ruining the game. Or they'll take a better approach to it, with something like skins that you can buy, that cost in-game currency which cost money, but they do not help you in the game itself. Fall Guys takes the second approach to this, but in a bit of a different way. Most Battle Royale games are free to play, however, Fall Guys costs $20 at the start. But in return, you get in-game currency just by playing the game, which is the case with other Battle Royale games, but usually is very rare. But Fall Guys makes it very easy to unlock. This makes it even though there is a store to buy in-game currency, you will not need it, as you can easily get enough in-game currency just by playing the game, making it so that you usually just spend $20 on the game to buy it, and that's it. Since the entire game is based off of minigames, and there's not really much else to talk about, I think I should probably mention all of them. As of right now, there are 59 minigames in the game. I couldn't find a good order to categorize them with, so I'll be listing them in alphabetical order. Airtime is a minigame where you try to stay in any part of the zone that gives you points to try to get 100 points. In basketball, you play a game of low-gravity basketball, but unfortunately it's a team minigame, which is the worst type of minigames because you can't often control if you qualify or not. Big Fans is a minigame of rotating platforms, and there are some fans to make the course interesting. Big Shots, where you're on a seesaw and you have to avoid obstacles launched at you. However, this one is extremely boring because it is super easy. Block Party, where you try not to get knocked off the platform you are on by blocks moving towards you. However, this one is also pretty easy. Bubble Trouble, where you try to pop 15 bubbles in 5 different areas, each very easy to get to, and with their own fun gimmick. Button Bashers, where you are put against a single opponent to try to press more of the glowing buttons than them to qualify. Dizzy Heights, which is a very interesting obstacle course with spinning circle platforms. DoorDash, where you try to order food from DoorDash as fast as possible. No, I'm joking. This minigame is actually about running into doors and hoping that they are real doors. Egg Scramble, which is a team minigame where you try to get as many eggs in your team's goal as possible. Egg Siege, which is basically the same thing but with a different layout to the stage. Fall Ball, where you and your team try to get the soccer balls into the goal. Fall Mountain, which is a harsh final minigame, and the single person that gets to the end the fastest, not making any mistakes, will get the crown. Breezy Peak, where you go through a snowy peak obstacle course full of fun level design. And Fruit Shoot, you try to get to the top of a conveyor belt moving against you with lots of fruits being launched at you. Full Tilt, where you run on 360-degree seesaws to try to get to the end of the stage first. Gate Crash, where you have to jump over gates that are moving up and down trying to stop you. Hexagon is a final minigame with multiple layers of hexagons, and anytime any player steps on one, they get destroyed after about a second, and the last player standing on one wins. Hit Parade, which is another simple obstacle course, but once again is very fun level design. Hoarders, where you try to keep as many balls as possible in your area to score points for your team. Oopsie Daisy, where you and your team try to try to jump through as many hoops as possible. Hoopsie Legends, which is a much better non-team variant of Hoopsie Daisy, where you need to get 6 hoops, gold hoops counting for 5 of those points, but are very hard to get. Hoverboard Heroes, where you have to try to stay on the big hoverboard part, all of the obstacles, and get to the end. And you don't need to go fast to qualify, just make it to the end, as the slime will permanently kill you. Jinx, where 2 teams have 1 player that has a sickness that they can spread to the other teams by grabbing players by having the sickness, and the first team to have only sick players loses. Jump Club, where you have to jump over a bar rotating around a loop, as well as a higher bar that you can't jump over but is just there to mess you up if both bars are in the same area. Jump Showdown, which is the same thing but is a final minigame, and the floor rotating around the bar breaks over time. Night Fever, which is a challenging obstacle course using medieval parts. Leading Light, which is a minigame where you have to stay in the course, moving spotlight that is moving around the obstacle course. Lily Leapers, where you bounce off lily pads to make a very fun and interesting course to get to the end. Lost Temple, which is a somewhat luck-based final minigame with real and fake doors similar to DoorDash. Party Promenade, which is Season 6's main obstacle course, with everything from pipe tube things sending you to another part of the level, to water balloons getting launched at you. Penguin Pool Party, which is an obstacle course where you're trying to hold a toy penguin for the longest time, and avoid anyone else stealing from you, as there aren't enough penguins for everyone. Penguin Pursuit is a similar idea, but is a team minigame instead. Perfect Match is a memory game where you have to stand on a platform that has the fruit on the TV on it. Pipe Dream, which is another Season 6 course, but this time purely based around the pipe tube things. And Power Trip, you want to be holding a electric thing, and only if you're holding that electric thing you can step on tiles and get that tile for your team. Rock and Roll, where you and your team have to push the ball through an obstacle course before at least one of the other teams. Rolloff, which is a final minigame with 2 connected spinning cylinder things with walls and gaps on them. And they also spin faster and faster, and the last player to survive wins. Roll On is a similar concept, but is an obstacle course. Rollout is the original version of this minigame, which is similar to Rolloff, but with more than 2 cylinder platforms, and it's a survival minigame. Royal Fumble is next, which is the final minigame where you try to grab the tail from the player that has it to attempt to be the only player with it at the end to win. In Seesaw, you have to get across a stage of seesaws, which requires your opponents to have a brain, which rarely happens. Short Circuit, which is a short obstacle course that you have to complete twice to qualify. Ski Fall, where you try to jump into the holes inside of the rings of the wall to score points, with gold rings scoring the most. Skyline Stumble, which is a futuristic obstacle course with technology in it, including lots of low gravity parts. Slime Climb, which is a very fun and iconic course where you have to qualify up a hard obstacle course and beat the rising slime that will eliminate you. And to qualify, you just have to make it to the end. Snowball Survival is a minigame where you have to survive rolling snowballs to the ice floor that will break if you stand on it for too long. Snowy Scrap is a lot like Rock and Roll, but instead of an obstacle course, your team is just trying to get your snowball the biggest. Stomping Ground, where there are 2 rhinos that you're trying to avoid from launching you off the edge for a minute. Some Fruit, where you have to remember how much of every fruit is on the ground and correctly answer a question about it. Tail Tag is like Royal Fumble, but instead of just 1 tail, half the players will have tails at the end of the round. Team Tail Tag is the same thing, but is a team minigame. The Slime Scraper is like Slime Climb, but it's a futuristic version from Season 4, and it's also my favorite minigame in the game. The Whirly Gig is an obstacle course with lots of moving bars, and even a few windmill-like obstacles to hit you and slow you down. Thin Ice is a lot like Hexagon, but with ice platforms that destroy over time, and the layers are directly below each other, so you can jump between different layers of the ice. In Tiptoe, you try to find the real block platforms that will not let you fall to your death and get to the end first. Treetop Tumble is the main Season 5 obstacle course, which has multiple different ways to go in every section, and slower routes if you accidentally fall off the top route. Tundra Run is the main Season 3 obstacle course with lots of fun winter obstacles. And last but not least, we have Wall Guys, where you move small walls in the way so you can get up to a higher wall to get to the end. We've finally gone through every single Fall Guys minigame. It was literally about 2 full pages worth of me talking about Fall Guys minigames on the script. In conclusion, Fall Guys might not have been the same charm as it once did, but it still is very fun, and since it has so many different minigames, none of the minigames besides sometimes the most common few get old. But anyways guys, that's all I have for this video. So yeah guys, this video is going to be done. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.